This first session is designed to just set the stage as to why is the digital economy, what is the digital economy, why is it important to increase participation within it. So we're going to do a couple mini case studies. We're going to be led off by Honourable Minister Melford W. Nicholas of Antigua and Barbuda. Minister Nicholas came to office as a 25-year telecommunications veteran. During his time in the private sector, he fulfilled several key roles in the field of telephone switching, IT operations, quality management, sales, and business development and operations management. In his current role as Minister with responsibility for information broadcasting, telecommunications, and information technology, he has the objective of leading the enactment of a new telecommunications bill that will see the establishment of an independent regulatory telecommunications commission and to the transitioning of the operations of government from paper-driven bureaucracy to an e-government platform. Please welcome to the stage Minister Nicholas.
Thank you very much, Shiva, and good morning all. This morning's discourse is obviously focused on the whole issue of financial transactions in the digital economy. And our mini case exploration this morning is going to be focused on encouraging participation in the digital economy. Now, I want to challenge you to my first injunction that the greatest challenge for us might not be an ICT challenge in terms of enhancing and increasing participation in the digital economy. Certainly from my standpoint, you will be aware, and we have said this yesterday, and you might have read it elsewhere, that ICT has this disruptive capability, but it also has this way of leading into new creation of new opportunities, new vistas. So it's at once destructive, but at the same time recreative. Many of you would know the impact that Facebook has had on marketing. Many of you would know of the impact that Uber and Lyft has had on the transportation sector. You will also be aware of the impact that Airbnb has had on the hotel and tourism sector. And so the whole question is that businesses have got to reinvent themselves because of what ICTs have made possible. The challenge for Caribbean societies and for our economies is how do we get our producers to be included in this new digital economy. Now, in the opening presentations, and I think my colleague minister did speak very broadly of all of the various challenges that we would have to consider in respect of our full participation in this sector. He also did give as wide a net to be included in the stakeholder consultations. But one aspect I would like to focus on, it's on the whole issue of trade and what needs to be done or what we need to consider in respect of how are we to be included. Because at the end of the day, all of this that we're doing, these economies are driven by consumer demands, consumer purchases, and how consumers operate within the whole context of this new global economy is going to be an important feature for our deliberations. I say that because I ask you and I challenge each of you to contemplate for a moment if there are any native consumer brands that you can think of, brands that are native to the Caribbean, that you can think of that our people consume on a regular basis. If you think of the apparel industry, what is the brand in the Caribbean in terms of the apparel industry that our people consume on a regular basis? I have the same challenge. And when you think of it, what commerce is now faced with, and if you do the reading in the literature and in the various ICT periodicals, you would invariably find that consumer behavior and consumer patterns are having a tremendous impact on retail, on the retail industry. Many of these mega malls in the United States are suddenly now finding that these retail outlets that they would have in these malls are no longer financially viable and they're being closed. many of the stores in our capitals that would normally buy products from the United States or other developed economies and store on their shelves and then anticipate some type of consumer purchases are now finding that those opportunities are becoming less and less. Because persons are now equipped, more and more persons are now equipped with some form of digital financial service that they can transact business over the internet. And supporting that new level of commerce are the logistics that go in between. Each of our economies, I'm sure, are served by Amerijet and other cargo services that bring tremendous amount of products to our shores, finished products. And these combined fulfill the requirements for commerce to take place across borders seamlessly. When you look at it in the reverse, if our Caribbean people are to become more participatory in this new digital economy, we have to look at the types of products and services that we have on offer and how do we get them to be transferred across borders. One other aspect that I would think that we have to consider is the role and function of our diaspora. When you get to know me, some of you would know that I am a great lover of calypso. And there's one calypsonian, good friend of mine from Trinidad, Crow, who sang a song about traveling on vacation. And whenever he goes up to the United States, persons are always giving him loads of products to take to some neighbor or some friends. And it's always the same in reverse. I invite you to find it on YouTube. It's very funny. But the point I'm making is that we have a diaspora of Caribbean people that is at least 3 times the size of the local population in our Caribbean. And so when we contemplate the types of products and services that we can offer, the addressable market is really not 15 million people, but approximately 60 million. ICT allows us to be able to reach those persons in the diaspora. How far are they? Very far and wide. I had the opportunity some time ago, approximately 2007, in a mall in Madrid, and I was pleasantly surprised to walk into a little shop, a little cafe that was selling Jamaican patties in Madrid. So it is far and wide. Our diaspora reach everywhere and in all the continents. But how do we serve them? From my own local personal experience, I can tell you, as the minister responsible for the public broadcast media in Antigua, we have now begun to digitize some of our program formats and have put them on streaming platforms. We are now reaching our diaspora audiences on an evening, on a regular basis, on a 7x24 basis, with the use of ICT. When I spoke earlier this week to the earlier grouping, I did indicate that I had a chastisement for Flow for having the opportunity to distribute the International Socomonac competition here in Trinidad. And they chose to limit their audiences for that product to only persons who subscribe to their cable channels. And I indicated to them it was a mistake. What they ought to have been doing is to digitize that product, put it on a streaming platform, and make it available to everyone. And by doing so, they're reaching not just the persons in the immediate community, but the persons in the diaspora as well, who would have an interest in that product. But I refer back to my earlier conversation about the brands. I believe it was the last person, Mr. Prince, who mentioned that with all of the innovation we're doing, nothing is going to happen until we promote those products. We get the new products that have been innovated. We promote them and they reach an end consumer. So what we do about branding in the Caribbean, our products, those that can be digitized, and I think we have a leading opportunity to do that. I think the Caribbean produces a very high value and a very high quotient of products, of the cultural products, whether it is from Jamaica or from Trinidad or from Barbuda or anywhere else in the Caribbean. We produce a very high level of quality products. but we are very shoddy in terms of the way we market and promote these products. When we're able to do that, we have the platforms that are available. So yes, we must have these conversations about digital and financial and social inclusion. Yes, we must talk about the platforms. Yes, we must talk about the digital identities that enable all of this, but it will be done in vain if at the same time our producers and the ministries of trade are not involved in ensuring that once we are at the level of production, we are able to cross these borders to be able to get these products in, so that we can have not just intra-regional trade, but extra-regional as well. And then we can really and truly begin to enjoy the benefits of participating in this new digital economy globally. One final thing that I must say, where there are finished products in the Caribbean, and we can certainly utilize the platforms and the technology as well to increase inter-regional trade. Policymakers at all governmental levels have got to be concerned again with the transportation systems within the Caribbean. I need not go any further. You full well know what I'm referring to. But I think I've given you enough of a start to tease your brain, and I know we are pressed for time, so I'll leave the rest for the Q&A. Thank you very much.